arrived at this farm outside of Berlin to play this festival in Germany for the first time, and it was like 30 degrees. And you know,
Nice.
a little Irish guy with like pale
Yeah.
skin standing 30
God.
degrees in a farm. It was messy.
Hey guys, I'm Vanessa from House in the Sand, and today I'm in Stuttgart. The weather is nice and we're outside, and I'm here with Ryan Vail. Hi Ryan, so
Hi.
how are you doing?
Yeah, really good. This is like the 6th day of the tour,
Right.
so kind of tired,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
we're getting there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've toured Germany
Yeah.
for the past week?
Yeah, it was like it was always something I wanted to do because I've been lucky enough to have an established fan base from here without really focusing on Germany. So it was nice to come out and meet fans that have really been into my music for like quite a long time,
Right.
and meet some new ones along the way. But yeah, it was the venues were all quite small and intimate, and I think next time with more like releases coming up, and we're probably going to go bigger. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to kind of get to know the
Yeah.
country and the people there.
Yeah, and even cities, because sometimes music really doesn't translate in every city.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get certain cities that like will totally get something, and then
Right.
others just, it's not that they won't get it, but it might just take a wee bit more time, or you know, so maybe some cities you could do big venues and others, you know, smaller. So
Yeah,
it's a good kind of learning experience. So
it's true. Did you have a favourite city at the moment?
I think Berlin was a really good start. It was quite a big audience. It was like over 100 people, and it was really loud and great
Yeah.
venue. But then Stuttgart, we haven't played the gig yet, but it's really interesting
Yeah,
because it's like
that's really cool.
yeah, it's like in this really beautiful square, and it's outside. And usually when I'm playing outside, it's at festivals, and I'm kind of running about muddy and kind of stressing out. Where this is
Yep.
very relaxed, and there's like nice wine and people, so it's
What more could you need?
yeah. So I would say, you know, Berlin and Stuttgart so
Yeah.
far have been highlights, but in saying that, every city's been really cool.
Yeah,
you know,
it's amazing.
and it's I think it just boils down to what you can relate to the most and what makes you feel more comfortable. So yeah.
Amazing. So I've been doing a bit of research to prepare this interview, and I've came across your remix of the Stranger Things theme song,
Oh yeah.
which is really cool because it's a massive series at the moment.
Yeah, the Stranger Things. Yeah, that was there was a magazine in Berlin, and I used to be a DJ.
Right.
So I still get asked for DJ mixes for magazines when we're doing interviews, but I just don't want to go down that route anymore. I just don't DJ, so I don't feel the need to do mixes. So when turning them down, I kind of thought, you know, it's quite an important opportunity here. What else could I do?
Yeah.
And I just finished Stranger Things, and I'm a big fan of the synthesizer. So
Yeah.
it wasn't. It
Amazing.
didn't feel like work. It felt like fun.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was like a wee free giveaway, and that was just a bit of fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a perfect timing because the series
Yeah,
is just really
yeah.
hot at the minute.
That's
It's
it.
amazing. It's pretty good.
It's good that it's actually really like big in Germany as well.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true.
It's amazing.
Like, obsessive.
Yeah, very
Pretty
good.
cool. Yeah. I actually found out about you through your collaboration with Kieran.
Oh, the Sea Legs collaboration,
Exactly, which
okay.
is such a good mini album.
Yeah, it was quite funny because it was one of those collaborations that really, even in Ireland, nobody's seen it coming.
Right.
So it was like when we announced it, it got a lot of people interested because there was like these, obviously Kieran is like this, he's like the Bob Dylan of Ireland, and then I was this dark kind of soundtrack and producer, and people didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
So when we decided to like dedicate the album to the coastline and where we live, it was just really accepted by quite a lot of people, and ended up being nominated for awards. And yeah, it was just it basically put both of us onto like a path of doing our albums. So it was it was a nice starting point,
So
especially
cool,
for
yeah.
me. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So do you have any dream collaborations that you would love to work with anyone?
I don't know. I'm always under the impression that anybody I've approached I've kind of approached with kind of caution. Anybody that approaches me, I'm always surprised at the outcomes.
Right.
I have like a collaborative project that's coming out now in the next 2 months, and it was one of those ones that I didn't go chasing after it. It was kind of like management kind of put each of us in touch, and I think sometimes when you don't go looking for something, it ends up better. So to say, you know, is there someone you'd want to work with? Yeah, I want to work with everybody, but it's like
Such a good attitude.
yeah, it's like sometimes it's just better not having that choice and them coming to you. So yeah,
it's pretty good. It's a good way to approach it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I suppose it seems to work. So
yeah. And you've released your debut album in April.
April, yeah.
Which was doing quite well. Radio 1 BBC.
Yeah, it kind of took us by surprise because the album is a concept album.
Yeah.
It's kind of dabbles in quite a lot of genres, from electronica to soundscape, poetry, classical piano, dance. And even when people heard the amount of genres involved in it, it got a lot of people interested because the Sea Legs thing was so different.
Yeah.
So when the album came out, it was quite strange because it was released on the same label, Sea Legs, so it was quite Arch that released it, and it's a small Irish label.
Right.
But it ended up like pretty much competing with big label releases, and it like ended up Radio 1 Album of the Week, and it just kind of spiraled after that.
Yeah.
And it's something. It was like a turning point for my career, and it's something we didn't see happen this early on. So it was a nice start to the year.
It's amazing, definitely. Yeah.
So.
And do you ever feel like social media is a huge part of
music? Social media for me, I find is a struggle. I kind of grew up, like I'm 32 now, and Facebook and all these new social things, it's not kind of what I grew up around. It's something that I've had to like adapt to.
Yeah.
And it's so important. You know, having a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's like having a business.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to treat it is like a business. But as great as it is, it's also made stuff very difficult to kind of push out there. You have all this reach, but it's limited in so many ways because all of a sudden the market's flooded with loads of artists.
Yeah.
Loads of magazines, then Facebook's charging for people to see things, and it's got very difficult, even though it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
The whole idea of social media was to
make it easier.
To make it easy, where it's kind of reverted back to restricting people again. So it's very strange. But it's super important, like obviously. We couldn't do it without it now.
It's true, yeah. Do you ever feel like it takes up so much time that you kind of have to set back on the music because you have to do it all?
Yeah, basically my management and label have me under a strict kind of schedule of when I'm allowed to post and how many times a week I should be posting, and it's kind of that thing where you want to engage with your fans and you want to kind of keep it, you know, you want to get the message across of what you're doing musically, but you also want to engage with them on a personal level. So it's almost like being taught how to use social media in many ways, you know. It's like
you got to study it.
You can't just kind of go and do it and just like make it up as you go along. You really have to think about what you're trying to achieve, you know, and how you want to engage with people. So it's so important.
It's true. And because we use this website as kind of a platform to support new music, do you have any insider tips of people you enjoy listening to that you want to give a little shout out to?
Quite a lot of people.
Go ahead.
I'd say one of the best gigs I've been to in a while was, and strangely enough, Kieran Lavery was supporting him.
Right.
Was I think he's American actually. Peter Broderick.
Okay, cool.
Very good, very good. Niels Fram, I had the pleasure of playing with him, and I think it was one of those life-changing moments seeing someone perform at that level.
That's amazing.
That's two great artists.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, on the same record label, I think.
Alright. Cool.
I'm just thinking
now.
That's
the theme going on. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And obviously all the ones back home, Soak and you know whatnot. All the greats.
Amazing, cool. So you're finishing the tour tomorrow in Germany.
Yeah.
You're heading back to Ireland? Or?
Heading straight back to Ireland. Because my album was released on kind of like an independent label, there was a lot of interest, so I'm basically being stuffed into the studio as soon as possible.
Nice.
We've been demoing tracks for the next album, and we're aside from that, I'm kind of doing a couple of soundtracks, collaborative projects, but the main focus is the next album.
Yeah.
And I think for the next album there's going to be a huge focus in Germany.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there's going to be a hell of a lot of touring here. So.
That's good.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Nice to see some sun in the summer.
Right. Yeah, we get quite a lot here, so you
we get nothing.
You get sunburned really easily though.
Yeah, that's very true.
We have the struggle of it.
It's funny because the first festival I played this year in Germany was in July.
Right.
And it was Sacred Ground, which is like curated by Rye X and Frank Wheaton from AMI. So they select all these people they meet along the road and invite them to this big farm, and it's limited down to like a small amount of people.
Nice.
And yeah, so I arrived at this farm outside of Berlin to play this festival in Germany for the first time, and it was like 30 degrees. And you know,
nice.
a little Irish guy with like pale skin standing 30
God.
degrees in a farm, it was messy. Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, a lot of sun cream was used. It was a typical tourist.
Yeah, so you might need a sponsor for your next tour, like sunscreen.
Yeah.
Get him.
High factor.
Yeah.
At least 50.
And when you tour, do you have a specific setup, like the gear you use?
Yeah.
Any favourites?
Well, I think a lot of people know me because I don't use computers at all, and I'm an electronic musician. So a lot of people like are really intrigued by what I use. Naturally, when I'm in Ireland and the UK, it's a lot easier for me to tour a bigger setup and more people in the band. But for the European kind of gigs, it's like remix of old vintage gear. So it's like the new versions of them. So like my favourite item at the minute would be a Roland drum machine, which is called the TR8.
Right.
And yeah, it's just really fun to play live. So.
Good. Amazing.
Yeah.
So that's such a nice way to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time to
thank
sit
you for
down.
coming.
And everybody, once again, this was an interview.